Hey everybody, welcome to Kavanaugh's Corner. Here on the channel, I review 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays. I'm a big fan of physical media, as you can tell. I'm a collector, and if you're in the same boat, if you're into the same kind of things, then I ask you to please consider subscribing. I've been at this for over a decade now, and it's just something I absolutely love to do, and I love to share my opinions of these releases with you. So today on the channel, I have a very recent release here. This was actually sent to me not too long ago, a couple days ago before I was filming this. So I didn't get a chance to really review this before it came out, but I wanted to talk about this release. This is a movie that I think is really silly. It's a good time, but I never get anything out of it as much fun as the movie is. And that is a film by Tim Burton. I had to rep my favorite Batman movie, also directed by Tim Burton, and that is Mars Attacks here. This is the all-new 4K from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers did send this over to me, so big thank you to Warner Brothers for sending this over. You got Jack Nicholson in 2 roles. You've got Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan. Danny DeVito was actually very highly credited, even though he's only in the movie for like 2 minutes. And you also have Michael J. Fox in this. You've got some really heavy hitter actors in this movie. Martin Short is in this movie. His part is really silly. Tim Burton really is kind of at his like zany best in this, parodying these 1950s, 1960s sci-fi movies. So today we're going to review Mars Attacks here. We're going to talk about the picture quality, the audio quality, and the special features, because there actually are some new special features on here. 2 things I always like to go through quickly before I get into the review here. One is that I watched this on a 77-inch LG OLED, a C4 model, hooked up to a Panasonic UB9000, and my audio system is running through a Denon receiver. I have a 5.1.2 surround sound setup, so with Dolby Atmos speakers and stuff like that. So if you're watching this on a similar setup, awesome. I just like to let you guys know what I'm watching this on, because your experience may vary greatly depending on your home theater setup. Second thing I always like to mention is that even though this movie was sent to me by Warner Brothers, they have no influence on my reviews here. They just send these out so people can make content about them. I'm not getting paid monetarily by them, but because this is an item of value, I do have to mark this video as being like paid or sponsored, even though they're not giving me any kind of money. So it doesn't change my review. My review is my opinion, no influence by that. And I can say whatever I want to say about these releases. They're going to send me these movies either way. So first and foremost, let's talk about the picture quality here on Mars Attacks. Now, this is a brand new remaster of the film. I don't really have any kind of deep details. I just know from the press release that they sent that it is newly remastered. And this does have Dolby Vision HDR, and it is on a 100 gigabyte disc. Now, the one thing I do want to show you, this is just the standard edition. There's also a really cool steelbook that's out there, but this is the disc here. I love it because you can see it says "ack, ack, 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 ack," which is all the aliens say in this film. But it's a neat cover. I really like that cover that the disc has. But that's all you get. It's just the 4K, and you do get a digital code as well that redeems on Movies Anywhere. But the picture quality on Mars Attacks here legitimately surprised me. I was very, very impressed with how good this looked. Previously to this, I had seen this digitally on streaming services. I never owned the Blu-ray for this movie. That being said, this new 4K is kind of insane how bright and colorful this disc is. It's really, really wild. The Dolby Vision kind of brings out these really deep primary colors that are all throughout the film. There are a lot of reds, a lot of greens, a lot of people getting turned into red and green skeletons throughout this film. The aliens themselves, so you can see there's a little picture of one back there. That's what the aliens look like in this. They're all CGI, but man, their heads and their little throbbing brains that are in these, you know, glass helmets that they wear. They just look wild from beginning to end. There were many, many moments where ray guns were being fired, explosions were happening, alien ships flying around. I was really, really impressed. There are many scenes of just bright, vibrant colors all throughout this movie, and the Dolby Vision has kicked this into overdrive. Another thing that I noticed about this disc is that the picture quality has definitely stepped up in terms of detail level. Clothing detail is super high in this, and you really get a look at some of the wild costumes that some of the characters wear in this film. There's one scene in particular where Glenn Close is wearing like this red and white kind of sweater dress type of thing, and that compared to the background, it just jumps out at you. And there's a lot of moments like that all throughout this film. I really liked seeing the shiny kind of cape of the head leader alien. At one point, he's wearing a red cape, or it's wearing a red cape, I should say. At another point, it's wearing like this bluish, almost magenta kind of cape. It's just stunning. And there's a lot of really stunning moments. There's a lot of oranges in terms of like sunsets and sunrises. There's also a lot of shots of the Vegas kind of strip, and Las Vegas at night looks really incredible in this movie. There's a lot of very bright lights, dark backgrounds, and you can still really see all the individual colors, the different bulbs that were used back then. It's pretty cool to look at. One ding I would give this movie is that the black levels are usually pretty good, but there were a few moments where I noticed that it was almost a tinge too dark. It's not all throughout. It's just a moment here and there. It's very, very rare, but I did notice in a couple shots that there was some kind of a black crush happening, but it's really, really minor, and I'm just nitpicking, honestly. Most of this movie looks basically flawless, and like I said, the Dolby Vision on this disc is just some of the best color timing I have ever seen for a movie. It really, really flattened me out. So for this, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 in terms of picture quality. Now, in terms of audio quality, this is where we have another kind of new exciting thing here, is that this has a Dolby Atmos audio track. And I gotta say, I listened to this film with that Dolby Atmos. There's also a 5.1 DTS HD master audio track included on here, but I watched this film exclusively with the Dolby Atmos, and I gotta say, the Dolby Atmos track on this is a knockout. I was very, very impressed with the Dolby Atmos on this disc. There are many, many moments of just crazy stuff happening. You've got explosions, you've got gunfire going on all around you, the alien spaceships are flying overhead and in front and all around. There's people running and screaming in different speakers. It was really kind of unbelievable at times how much this movie filled the room with audio, and everything is very precise. The dialogue also sounded really good. Everything with dialogue is mainly front and center, but I did notice they put people's voices in the surrounds every now and then. But there's even directional audio where you have one character speaking on the right, one character speaking on the left, and you can hear it coming out of the different speakers. It's really impressive. I was really, really surprised. Danny Elfman's score for this just sounded fantastic all throughout. Tom Jones plays a small part in this movie, and he's great. I love Tom. He's a very talented man, and he gets to do his little kitsch in this movie. And I will say, it's not unusual, sounded fantastic in this movie. The other incidental music that happens, that one type of music plays a very important part in this film, but there's a lot of usage of like echo songs kind of playing in the background. It's pretty cool, and I really got a kick out of how well everything was placed in the overheads, behind and front, center. Everything was really, really well done. And the bass on this, even though it's not the deepest bass I've ever heard, there are some moments where there was some, thuds and things like that. And it sounded pretty good. So overall, I'm giving this audio a 9.5 out of 10. Really, really awesome Dolby Atmos track on this one. Now, as for special features, as I mentioned earlier, there are 2 new special features on the 4K disc here. One of them is called Looking Back at Mars Attacks. That's about a 7 or 8 minute little featurette there, and that features some crew members that worked on this film, talking about their experiences working with Tim Burton and other cast members, things like that. It's fairly, surface level. We do get some behind-the-scenes clips in it. Nothing really too crazy, but it is nice to see this get some kind of behind-the-scenes discussion. I really like that. Now, the other one is called Ack Ack Aesthetic, and that's a little longer. That's about 10, 11 minutes, and that talks about the people that worked on the special effects of the film, not just the CGI stuff, but also some of the props and things like that. Nothing too deep. It is nice seeing the people working on this film talk about how they pulled off some of the stuff way back in 1996. So that's cool. The only thing that's kind of a bummer about this disc is that the older releases of this film had an isolated score track, the score by Danny Elfman. It had an isolated audio track as a special feature, and that is not here on this 4K disc, which is a real bummer. You win some, you lose some in this case, and for those of you that love isolated scores, sadly, you're out of luck with this new release. If you have that older Blu-ray or DVD, you might want to hold on to that. So for special features here, it's nothing too crazy, but I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Simply because it's something new and you do get some behind-the-scenes looks, which are really what I look for with this kind of thing. So what are my thoughts on Mars Attacks here? I would say that as wacky as a movie as this is, it's fun. This is actually a movie you could use to show off your home theater. Now, it's not a reference disc, I would say. It's really close to being a reference disc. I loved the way this movie looked for 90% of it, and I loved the audio on this. I recommend it if you really like this movie. If you're a big fan, it's totally worth picking up. If not, proceed with caution, even though it looks and sounds amazing. I just know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I get a kick out of it, but again, it's not a movie that I watch a whole heck of a lot. So I'd say if you can get this on a really good sale, it's absolutely worth it. If you want to pick up Mars Attacks, I'll leave a little link somewhere over here on screen, but it'll also be in the little shopping cart icon down below. If you use that link to purchase this movie, it does help me out here on the channel. I can't tell you how thankful I am for all of you here that watch and comment, especially those of you that are subscribed. I really appreciate it. If you really want to help out the channel, you don't feel like buying anything, it's totally fine. The best thing you can do to support me here is to hit that subscribe button. That's the biggest thing. I can't tell you how much it means to me if you do that. And of course, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, hit that thumbs up button to show that, you watched it all the way through. I know I talk a lot, and my videos are a little bit longer than a lot of other people's videos out there because I can't really show video clips. I get asked a lot if I can show clips of the movie, and I just got a notice that one of my videos that I did from over 5 years ago, where I had like a 20-second clip of a movie, actually got copyright claimed by the studio behind that movie. So I can't show clips. I can only show little still images that I photograph off of my TV. YouTube restrictions are really wild. So I hope that the photos and the descriptions I give in these videos kind of paint a good picture for you here so you can be, better informed if you're going to spend your hard-earned dollar. A lot of people are getting fed up with streaming, so we're a very tight-knit community here, and I gotta say thank you to all of you that support physical media, there is really no true ownership in streaming or digital platforms or anything like that. This is true ownership here. So support physical media, support your local stores that carry physical media. And until next time, I just want to wish you guys all the very best. Please stay safe, keep collecting, and take it easy.